periods as an entrepreneur.
Just hours before his assassination, Charlie Kirk sharing these words to live by in his final interview.
It's good no matter what season of life that you're in. If you're going through the worst of times, this too shall pass, and things are going to get better. If you're going through the best of times, though, it's really humbling. This too shall pass, and this will fade away, because this will not last forever. So I love that.
And they don't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a time-transcendent truth that applies towards all periods as an entrepreneur. It humbles you when you need it and builds you up when you need it, gives you hope when you need it, and also gives you a little bit of a dose of a gut check.
Wow. Pretty shocking, right? You can stream Charlie Kirk, the last interview, now on Fox Nation, or when it airs tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox News.
The co-founder and managing director of the Savory Fund, Andrew K. Smith, who was the last person to interview Charlie Kirk, joins us now with more about that day. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us this morning. When did you tape that interview? How long before Charlie's death? And what was your reaction when you heard of his assassination?
Yeah, we had him show up to the venue that we had in Salt Lake City about an hour before we talked. So we talked for about 40 minutes prior to him going out on stage. And then he was on stage with me for about 35 minutes. Talked for a few minutes, and then we took a picture, and then he darted out the back door to go get in the Suburban with his security detail, and 40-minute drive down to UVU, and then he was out in the auditorium. So it was very close, and I had no idea what we were sitting.
What was about to transpire?
Yeah, no, there's no way to even imagine that.
Well, you hosted this event. It's called Restaurantology 2025. You own 500 restaurants. You are co-founder and managing director of Savory Fund. So you know a lot about this business. You wanted him to come on to talk about, he's an entrepreneur as well. He started Turning Point USA, and you said it was lighthearted and it was fun. He gave some scriptures, and some people were hesitant, but then they ended up being inspired by his message. When you found out he was shot, you had to go out and do what?
We had to tell him that, the audience didn't know. We had just said goodbye to him. We were backstage. We were running the event, myself and my team. And as soon as it happened, we were told there were some people that were actually at the event, some friends of ours that were at the event. And they just said, I think you just had Charlie on stage. He was just shot. And it was hard to even imagine the way to process that. It was surreal.
What was the reaction of the crowd?
We went out and told him there was gasps in the audience. It was you could hear a pin drop. I mean, it was very, very quiet. But it was sobering, too, because you're like, he was just here. And as you saw in the clip right here, he was so lighthearted and fun, unifying. It just felt so good in that auditorium. The energy was great. And when he left, man, he was on top of life.
And he had a great entrepreneur story to tell, too. I want everyone to hear a little bit more of your interview. Watch.
An entrepreneur at its core is a problem solver against the tide. Entrepreneurs are people that quit companies while they might be ascending, or they're putting out a second mortgage on their home, or they're diving into savings or liquidating their 401k. And I think there's really something admirable about that kind of ambition. It makes the world a better place. I would say that the more that we can cheerlead the economy, the better. And the more that we can say that it's good, the more that it will be good. I would much rather be the United States than continental Europe right now. I would much rather be the United States than a lot of these other countries.
We're global. So, and it went for 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, for about 35 minutes we talked, and that was his feeling the whole time too. It was very positive, and he was so optimistic about America, about being an entrepreneur, about building businesses. It was inspiring. I think that everybody that was maybe a little bit on edge with him being there because of their position.
Because of political?
Yeah, because we talked earlier too, and we just said, we're going to take all politics off the table. And in fact, before we went out, I said, Charlie, okay, when we go out there, he's like, what can I do to help? And when he said that, I'm like, he's here to help. I was so impressed with him saying, I just want to be here to help. And I said, let's go out there and inspire these entrepreneurs with your journey and the things that you're doing to build your businesses too. And that's exactly what we did.
And he didn't have to do the interview.
No. His cousin is actually related to one of our brands, Houston Hot Chicken, and he is his cousin. And so he said, I think you should talk to my cousin. And I'm like, well, who's your cousin? He said, well, Charlie Kirk. I'm like, I know him. I don't know all about him. I don't follow him like everybody else does. But when I got to know him, man, his mind and his entrepreneurial edge was just amazing. I'm like, you're an entrepreneur? And he goes, well, yeah, I think I am. I'm like, no, you are. So you should come and talk to these other entrepreneurs and inspire them.
Do you think he's one of those individuals, and the president often gets this criticism, you see the headlines, you see the videos, and you don't really know the person. But when you meet them, your mind has changed.
Yeah, my mind was completely rocked with just getting ready for this months before. he was gritty. I mean, he had some developments he was doing. He's like, Andrew, you should put some of your restaurants on my land. And I'm like, okay, well, we should talk about that. In the middle of everything he's doing, and he's texting me saying, hey, what did you think about that piece of land? I mean, he was an entrepreneur. He was pushing his other initiatives that he wanted because he was excited about it. And then meeting him too, yeah, you realize that man, he was a good man. He was a man of faith, and he wore it on his sleeve, like he said right on our conference. But you could feel that spirit of him.
Didn't he say, I'll call you later?
He says, I'll call you after the event. I want to do more like this with you. So let's do it again.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Andrew K. Smith, thanks so much. And that's, by the way, this is going to be on the final interview. Charlie Kirk, the last interview, available right now on Fox Nation. Go to foxnation.com and catch a special airing of the interview tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on the Fox News channel. So
if you learn anything from that, you just never know. Seize the day. Enjoy your day. Hug your children a little tighter.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.